Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about multiculturalism and we will be talking about fairy tales and story time. Everybody knows the story of Cinderella, correct?
Yes.
Good, yeah, it's a classic story. So it's about a young woman who has a stepmom with stepsisters. And she isn't treated very nicely, correct?
Yes.
So she makes a wish, and she meets her fairy godmother.
Mm-hmm.
And her fairy godmother is able to grant her wish of going to the prince's ball in the palace. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So she goes, but she only has until midnight,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so she dances and she has so much fun. And then midnight hits and she has to go home. All the magic is gone.
Mm-hmm.
However, as she's running away, she loses her
shoe.
Her shoe. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
her slipper. So the prince sends out a group of people to go and find Cinderella. And they go around visiting everyone's house, trying on the shoe, and then finally they make it to Cinderella's house. But her evil stepmother locks her up in her room and they pretend that she's not there, which is so sad because she almost misses the opportunity to meet the prince.
Mm-hmm.
But then, with the help of her little animal friends, she makes it to the shoe fitting and lives happily ever after with Prince Charming, correct?
Yes.
So, did you know that story is found all over the world?
Yes.
Yeah. There's probably a version of it from where you're from, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So it's really cool because the original story was the Grimm brothers version. Or the most common version was actually Charles Perrault. Yeah. But the most well-known, I think that everyone's come to know today, is the Grimm version. But there is a French version, a Vietnamese version, an Egyptian version, all with different cultural aspects from that country.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have you guys pick a country,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll give you Cinderella story from that country. What country do you want?
What country I am?
Which one do you want?
Or which one I want? Well, I'm from Mexico City, so maybe Mexican.
Okay. Ooh. The one from Mexico is called Adelita.
Oh.
Yeah. So, in this version of the story, well, I'll give it to you and you can start reading it. Okay?
Okay. The story begins describing the father and the mother, Adela, and Adela telling their father they are going to have a baby. He sends for the woman who took care of him as a child and has been with his family since she was a girl. Her name is Esperanza. Adela becomes ill following childbirth and only gets to hold her daughter once before dying. Ooh. The father named the baby Adelita was her mother. Adelita grows into a beautiful young woman under the care of Esperanza and her father. They both love her so very much. One day, the father announced he is going to remarry. Ooh. Let me get there. ¿Dónde? he brings the woman and her two daughters to meet Adelita and Esperanza. Esperanza does not like them immediately, but Adelita is happy for her father. Adelita has no share her father now, but does not mind since he seems happy. Unfortunately, his sons dies, and Adelita is left an orphan. Her stepmother brings to show her true colors and jealousy over Adelita. She moves her father, her beautiful bedroom, and to room in an attic, and she now only is giving hand-me-downs for clothes. Yeah. The stepsister also mean to her. Adelita spends much of her time in the kitchen with Esperanza. One day in September, September, and the stepmother comes into the kitchen to say we'll no longer keep Esperanza since she's spending too much on the household, and Adelita can do the work since she always helping. Anyway, Esperanza and Adelita beg her not to send Esperanza away, but she does. Adelita is saddened and now must do all the hard work herself. One day at breakfast, the stepmother announced they have been invited to the fiesta at the Gordillo's ranch. The girls are very excited since they both would like to marry Javier Gordillo. Adelita asks if she may go as well since she and Javier were childhood friends. She is told she will be an embarrassment to the family and she must stay home. She helps the stepsister prepare for the party and watch the family leave. Adelita is weeping in the kitchen when she hears a soft knock at the door. It's Esperanza. She had a dream about Adelita not being allowed to go to the fiesta and has come to help. She takes her to the storeroom and shows her a trunk of her mother's things. Ooh. They find a beautiful white dress and a red rebozo. Adelita quickly washes the dress and Esperanza braids her hair and puts it up with rainbows and flowers. Then they use the cart Esperanza borrowed to take her to get there. Adelita turns heads when she arrives. Señor Gordillo comes to meet her and asks who she is. She tells him that she is in disguise and to call her Cenicienta, Cinderella. Javier takes one look and falls in love with her. They dance and talk all night. When express his love to her, Adelita becomes nervous and runs away. The next day, all the stepmother and stepsister can talk about the mysterious Cenicienta at the fiesta. The stepmother tells them Javier is going to go house to house to look for her, so her daughters have another chance to impress him. Before going to help her stepsister, Adelita runs to her room and hangs her mother rebozo out of the attic. Javier sees the rebozo and runs to the house asking where she is. The stepmother calls in the stepsisters and Javier say they are not the one he means. The stepmother says they are the only ones there. But then a voice from behind say, there is one more. Adelita has changed into her mother dress and rebozo again. and comes down to the stairs. She tells Javier who she is, and of course he remembers his childhood friend. He asks her to marry him, and she says since she is an orphan, she should ask her stepmother. Her stepmother gave her permission, and they are married. Esperanza comes to take care of them, as she always had. Everyone is happy.
Yeah. So, what did you notice that is different about this story and the normal story everyone knows?
Well, they have a lot of difference. First one, Adelita and Javier, they're friends in the childhood, so in the Cinderella ones, they're never met before. Second one, well, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But the stepmother give permission and they don't say no, or
Yeah.
so.
And
I
the
think
other one they didn't.
I think the means then they're not mean anymore. I think, and was like another one was like maybe the dress. It is her mother's dress. It is not something like
The original was the shoe.
and now this is the rebozo and things like that. Yeah.
And what does that tell you about the culture of Mexico?
Well, there is well, the names.
The names.
The Esperanza, it's always in the culture. There's somebody like Esperanza, like you have an aunt or a sister or whatever that help you all the time, or a nanny or things like that, or a good friend. There's always for you. And I don't know.
I like how it, for me, I liked how it was about friendship, like Esperanza and Adelita were good friends and very loving family, but it also kind of has a bit of like a telenovela feel with the aunt, with the stepmother and the stepsister being very dramatic and like, no, she doesn't exist. But yeah, I think if we dig deep enough, we could totally find more things that talk about the culture of Mexico through the story of Adelita. But yeah, and thank you for coming to my lesson. I hope you learned something.
Yes.
And yeah.